Is it really possible to eliminate recurring defects for good? Today, we'll explore the industry-agnostic language of problem-solving, the 8D analysis, and walk it in one continuous flow from D0 to D4. Grab your coffee and water, settle in, and focus. By the end of this video, you'll know how to make the right analysis for the right problem. Your phone rings on the production line, your heart rate spikes, and you can hear the tension in the customer voice. Your brackets don't fit. If the words recurring defects make your stomach drop, this video is for you. Because today, we're going to speak the language that every OEM, from Audi to BMW, from Ford to Volkswagen, expects. By the end, you'll know how to define a clean point, how to sharpen the problem with an IS/ISNOT matrix, when to run MSA, how to turn your firewall into zero defect flow, and how to prove the occurrence cause, the escape cause, and why the quality system failed to catch it. All crystal clear. Let's stage the moment. On the customer's assembly line, the bracket that you supply won't fit. Minutes feel like seconds. The question in your head, is there any suspected stock already on the way, gets louder. This is where the first step of 8D kicks in. D0, the critical moment. D0, stop and protect. Picture it. It's 2:30 p.m. The customer calls. There's a bracket issue. What do you do in the first 60 seconds? Most people panic. You won't. Because now, you'll learn the inform and control reflex. The rule is non-negotiable. Customer line risk must drop to zero immediately. Stop shipments. Quarantine suspect stock. Start 100% sorting if necessary. But careful, here's the important point, the clean point. From this lot number onward, every part has been verified and is safe. Can you say that with evidence? Are your lot lists, photos, and data ready? What do? Review outgoing shipments, quarantine suspect stock, and, if needed, launch 100% sorting. With one crucial difference, we record everything minute by minute. Who did what, when, how many, and how. And then the critical detail, we declare the clean point. From this time, after this lot serial number, every part has been verified and is safe. You must be able to say this backed by proof. Lot lists, inspection records, photos, and data ready to go. Then push the package as a time-stamped update in the OEM portal, or, if a formal complaint hasn't been opened yet, via email. Don't worry, in a moment, I'll tell you exactly what different OEMs expect here. With D0 underway, many teams are tempted to skip D1. Just don't. D1, don't fight alone. Build your team. Anyone who says, "I'll handle it myself," loses. Why? Because D0 to D3 actions move hourly. You can't keep up alone, and you can't be the expert in everything. In D1, build a cross-functional team. Production, quality, process engineering, maintenance, tooling fixtures, logistics, supplier quality. Bring in the customer represent if needed. Gather everyone who can help solve the problem. Appoint an 8D leader and a sponsor who removes roadblocks. Adopt the one-voice rule. One coherent message to the customer portal. Hold short daily stand-ups. Why? Because D0 to D3 actions evolve by the hour. As root cause hypotheses appear, ownership and priorities shift quickly. The purpose of D1 is to keep everyone on the same page with written roles and responsibilities. How should we actually define the problem? That's where D2 sets the game. D2, make the invisible visible. Ask, what is the problem? And everyone says something different. That ends now. D2's goal is to turn noise into clear, measurable information. First, write a quantifiable problem statement. What is the object? What is the defect? Where does it appear? When did it start? How widespread is it? For example, the shaft hole must be 10 plus or minus 0.1 millimeters. Oversize measurements drifting to 10.48 to 10.52 millimeters have been observed on line B during the night shift since the third week of February at a frequency of 4 to 5%. Anyone who reads it should picture the same thing. Then open the IS/ISNOT D matrix. Where does it exist and where does it not? Which line? Which shift? Which material lot? Which alternate supplier? Which operator combination? In parallel, ask what changed? Shift, tooling, software, material, supplier, environment. This table dramatically narrows your hypothesis pool, and the accuracy of your later analysis and the relevance of your actions will hinge on doing it thoroughly. This matrix can narrow your hypothesis field by 90%. Now, a critical checkpoint, MSA. If you can't trust your measurement, the entire analysis collapses. Run a quick Gage R&R. As a rule of thumb, below 10% good, between 10 to 30% borderline, above 30% unacceptable. If your measurement system is weak, fix that first. Otherwise, you'll chase a phantom. Many repeated 8Ds trace back to a D2 written on unreliable measurements. You've covered the first 3 steps. Now, D3, the interim fix, the firewall. D3 is simple in logic and strict in discipline. Protect the customer behind a wall until you find and fix the root cause. This is where 100% inspection or sorting kicks in. Physically separate dirty versus clean areas. Add an extra inspection station at end of line if needed. Bring in third-party sorters when appropriate. But the lifeblood of D3 is this: proof that your added control works. We inspected is not enough. How many units did you check? How many defects did you find? Who did it and where? All signed and recorded. Stress test the firewall with a false negative challenge. Push a known bad part through the check. Does the system catch it? If not, your firewall is paper thin. Remember, in the OEM's eyes, D3 is often proven by a run chart trending to escapes equals 0. Now, D4, the heart of 8D. Here's the part everyone misses. Many teams declare victory after finding the occurrence cause. This is insanely wrong. In D4, you must work 3 separate legs: the occurrence, why it happened; the escape, why it wasn't caught; and why the quality system allowed it. Find occurrence only, and the same kind of defect will leak again if you don't close the escape or the system gap. Keep D4 sharp with 3 questions. Can I turn the root cause on and off? Why did our current control fail to catch it? And what in the quality system failed to prevent it? Never stop at operator error. Ask one level deeper. Why did the system allow it? How do we proceed? Start with a fishbone and brainstorm across 6M/7M categories: man, machine, method, material, measurement, environment, and management. Map the IS/ISNOT clues from D2 onto each branch. Then build 3 separate 5Y chains for occurrence, escape, and system. Don't stall on shallow answers. If it lands on a person, ask why the system let that happen. Then comes the critical phase: evidence-based validation of the causes you found. Deliberately turn the suspected cause on to reproduce the defect, then remove the cause and show the defect disappears. Suspect material, run parts with the suspect lot and collect data, then repeat with conforming material. Suspect a worn fixture, do measurements drift with a worn fixture, and stabilize with a renewed one. For escape, think experimentally too. Was gauge resolution inadequate? Was sampling frequency too low? Was the control plan measuring the wrong characteristic? When you add these tests, charts, and tables to your 8D, you've delivered proof of root cause. Moving to D5 without proof is leaving the door open to the wind. And remember, no one wants to relive the same failure on the line. In automotive, repeated issues are unacceptable and quickly escalate. Up to this point, we've built the skeleton of the analysis. The stronger one, the better the outcome. Now, what exactly do different OEMs expect at these steps? Most OEMs want a VDA structured 8D submitted through their supplier portal. Timelines typically look like this: an interim update within 24 to 48 hours covering D0 through D3, then validated root cause analysis, D4, shared around day 5 to 7, and a final 8D within 10 to 30 working days, depending on complexity. On the Ford side, you'll often hear 1-5-20. Day 1, emergency response and containment. Day 5, interim root cause/plan. Day 20, final. BMW commonly expects the first response response in 48 hours and a final report in 20 working days. For Volkswagen/Audi, within formal Q/KPM-QS, you should make the D0 to D3 progress visible in the portal within 24 to 48 hours. At Mercedes-Benz, through QEC, analysis/inspection outputs are expected from the point of part receipt. Priority cases may impose tighter timelines. Renault frequently promotes QRQC/A3 culture, but wants content equivalent to AD. Portals guide the steps and expect each field complete, often D0 to D3 within 24 hours and D4 within a week. With Stellantis, Fiat, Peugeot, Opel, Citroën, you progress the 8D steps with portal approvals on consolidated platforms. Toyota often runs via A3 problem-solving and expects 8D equivalent content. Hyundai Kia supplier quality guides mirror an 8D-like flow with fast initial notification expectations. Now, let's get practical. Here's a 7-step success formula you can win with on your very next case. 1. Within the first 24 hours, prove the clean point with measurements and records. Share numeric updates through the portal. From this timestamp onward, we have defect-free flow. Products are usable, starting with shipment X. We inspected N parts, found K defects, and launched these actions. 2. Build your team. With the one-voice principle, post at least one portal update per day. 3. Define the problem with an IS/IS-NOT matrix. Where does it exist? Where not? When did it start? What changed? Show this table to the customer, and it signals you're on target. 4. Run MSA early. If GR&R is poor, your first fix isn't the root cause, it's the measurement system. Then, rerun your matrices and review findings. 5. Strengthen the firewall with records. Total inspected, defects found, who where, plus a false negative challenge. Upload a run chart trending escapes equals 0. 6. In D4, work the 3 legs: occurrence, escape, and system. Build 3-legged 5 whys. Then, plan and execute on-off experiments. Unverified hypotheses do not belong in the report. 7. Compile all evidence in the format your customer requires, in short, sharp sentences. A good 8D isn't only correct, it persuades by showing proof. Why are we so obsessed with evidence? Because in automotive, the phrase, "we think that," is a cost item. Evidence is the only way to tell the customer, we've contained the issue, found the root, and improved the system so it won't happen again. D0's clean point, D3's firewall effectiveness, D4's on-off tests, they all send the same message. This team's word is backed by data. They're professional, and they can solve the problem for good. If you tailor this flow to your plant's language and your customer portal's rules, you won't just fill in an AD, you'll systematically build trust with your customer. That trust makes collaboration easier and keeps you away from escalation paths nobody wants. In the next training video, we'll cover D5 to D8, how to select permanent corrective actions, verify them, and strengthen the system for good. But first, put these 3 into practice now. Clean point evidence, IS/IS-NOT plus MSA, and on/off test plans for occurrence, escape, and system. These are the game-winning moves in the first half of your 8D. Before you go, if you found this helpful, please like the video and share it with your team. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. Tell me in the comments what you want to see next. Until the next video, take care and let's keep those defects from coming back.